Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Do, do. Hey, a good one. I always wondered ever since the British versus or private versus public school difference in Britain and America. I was always more curious about British schools. British schools explained Anglophenia. I always thought it was Anglophilia first time I watched. Let's go.
And this is
Preemptive light.
Anglophenia. Now, hi, I'm Siobhan Thompson, and this is Anglophenia. Now, many of the most beloved stories from the UK are set in schools, all the way from Tom Brown's School Days to Harry Potter and the History Boys. But the British school system is remarkably different from that in the US, so much so that it's often the first thing that Americans ask me to explain to them. So, here is the Cliff's Notes version of how the British school system works, but study up because there's going to be an exam at the end of the video. Public schools and state schools. What Americans call private schools are called public schools in the UK, and what you call public schools, we call state schools. There are also some private schools that don't call themselves public schools, they call themselves private or independent schools, but most of the ones that Americans are thinking about, you know, where people live in a mansion and wear a very silly uniform, are called public schools. Got it? Most state schools these days are comprehensives, meaning that they accept students of every academic ability. But there was a system that's still in place in some areas of secondary modern and grammar schools. There, kids take a test at 11. Comprehensives, meaning that called public schools. Got it? Most state schools these days are comprehensives, meaning that they accept students of every academic ability. But there was a system that's still in place in some areas of secondary modern and grammar schools. There, kids take a test at 11 to see what type of school they'll go to, the grammar schools being more academic and the secondary moderns more vocational.
Wait, so you separate people based on this so early on? What? But what if they're not as smart early on but get smarter? Aren't you like already committing them to a
Church schools. There's no separation of church and state in the UK, so many schools, both state and public, are church schools. Oddly, this doesn't translate into later church attendance, which is much lower in the UK than in the US. Sort of like how most people don't use algebra after the age of 18, I guess.
I mean, there are like Catholic schools. You can't make a public school religious, but
US. Sort of like how most people don't use algebra after the age of 18 in church schools. Church and state vocational. Church schools. There's no separation of church and state in the UK, so many schools, both state and public, are church schools.
okay.
Oddly, this doesn't.
No, that's the thing over here too. There are private schools that are more Catholic oriented or Christian oriented, and there are public school. Wait, are there public schools that are? Wait, never mind.
Translate into later church
Never mind.
attendance, which is much lower in the UK than in the US. Sort of like how most people don't use algebra after the age of 18, I guess. Uniforms. Pretty much all schools have some kind of uniform.
I'm
ranging from
flip-floppy on this. Because on the one hand, I'm like, I think uniforms would be a good thing because you don't have to worry about the, you know, your outfit or how you might look or whatever, and you can just focus on school. You wake up in the morning, you put your uniform on, everyone else is wearing the uniform, good to go. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm kind of like meh on this.
From a school jumper all the way up to the white tie and tails that they wear at Eton. The idea behind it is to create a sense of identity and school pride. See? Still fits.
Still fits. I was gonna say that.
Prefects.
And you guys like have their prefects. Percy, sorry. So you actually have like houses.
Still fits.
I thought like a schoolhouse was a completely Harry Potter made thing.
Prefects. In
Same
British
with
schools,
this.
older students can be chosen to be prefects. Being a prefect sounds super cool, but in reality it mostly entails policing the lunch line and stopping the younger kids from hitting each other. You do get a cool badge though, so that's something. Most schools also have a head boy and a head girl who attend school council meetings.
Can you put prefect on like your college what is it? Resume? What is it? What do you do? I forget.
And give a speech at prize giving at the end of the year. Oh, prize giving is the closest thing that we have to a graduation ceremony. Exams. National exams are a huge part of the British school experience. It's all very simple. You take GCSEs at 16 and then A-levels at 18, which are kind of like AP exams, but different. Also, in Scotland, they study for Highers instead of A-levels, and GCSEs used to be called O-levels. Also, AS levels happen in the middle of A-levels. Look, it's just, this is the most complicated bit, I promise.
SATs?
Revision. This is just what we call studying for exams. It's not a biggie, just a lot of people seemed confused about it. Juniors and seniors. Instead of the American system of elementary school...
I didn't get a great SAT score. I wasn't a great student. I got like a 1480 or something like that. It's not that great.
Middle school and
Not
so
good.
on. Most British schools are divided into juniors and seniors. Junior school, also called...
Like a good SAT score is like 2100 or something like that, you know? So that should put that in perspective.
Primary school. British schools are divided into juniors and seniors. Junior school, also called primary school, is for 4 to 11-year-olds, and senior school is for 11 to 18-year-olds. At some public schools, they divide it up a little differently. They have pre-prep from 4 to 7, prep from 7 to 13, and then senior from 13 to 18. Sixth form. The last 2 years of school is called the sixth form, divided into the lower sixth and upper sixth. The name is a hangover from a previous, more complicated system of naming classes which has stuck around for some reason. In many schools, sixth formers are given a lot more freedom than the other students, often being allowed to wear their own clothes instead of school uniform.
Whoa.
Cool. University. You apply to do a single subject at British universities and only study that one thing. No maths or language requirements or any of that other stuff that you have to do at American colleges. Bachelor's degrees generally take 3 years, and you know what, let's just cover this in another video. It's very complicated. So there we go. Are there any things about British schools that you have questions about? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also, if you have any other questions about British culture, you can tweet us at Anglophenia, and maybe your topic will be covered in another video.
I have a 4-year degree BA in history, and I know nothing about it. Whenever I came out of college and I graduated, like I always thought that, you know, whatever you study in college, you major in. Once you get out of college and you have that degree, you should be like an authority in that. Not an authority, like you should be. Obviously, you're not like a PhD or post grad, whatever. But I always thought like if someone had to ask something general about the subject that you have a major in, you should be like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, I have this piece of paper. I don't feel like a historian. Like, what the hell am I? I swear I've learned more through YouTube videos than I have through, maybe not. I don't know. Cool video. Love you guys. Catch you next time. Bye.